Namaste. Welcome to your Thursday, July 8th hip opening practice. I was reading this morning about how hip pain can translate into low back pain. It can even cause spinal misalignment and more permanent injury and damage. So I'm very glad that every day in our yoga practice we're getting some form of hip opening. And on Thursdays, of course, it is our focus. So let's begin in a comfortable seat. Maybe you perch yourself on a blanket. Sitting tall, you can roll your shoulders up to your ears, back and down. Take a couple deep breaths here, allowing yourself to arrive. No matter how the morning, the week, or the month is going, you are here now. In this exact moment, all is well. You are breathing. Your heart is beating. You are here now. If you'd like to drop in and add some vibration to your environment, you can chant Om with me, hands together in front of your heart. Big inhalation for Om. On an inhale, sweep your arms out wide, spread your fingers wide, breathe slowly, take your time reaching out and up. Exhale, hands together through your midline, keeping your crown, your heart, your spine lifted. Inhale again, reaching out and up. Exhale. Inhale, reach out and up. This time, at the top of your inhale, lift your ribs up out of your hips a little more. Exhale, twist to your left, and then lower your hands down. Keep lengthening your spine, concerning yourself more with that than with forcing a deep twist. But maybe it feels good to start to look over your back shoulder. As we stay here for about 3 more breaths, what can you let go of? Maybe you can notice that you've started to hold tension in your thighs and hips. Maybe you can soften that. On an inhale, come back through center, reaching out and up. Exhale, twist to the other side, lowering your hands down. Keep sitting tall. And as you begin to settle in for several breaths, notice if you're holding. And just patiently encourage your body to let go of tension anywhere it may be sneaking in. Sometimes when I notice myself holding tension, I'll thank it. Thank you for being there. You probably think you're helping me, but you can let go now. On an inhale, come back through center, reach out and up. Exhale, fold forward any amount and let your hands come to the earth in front of you. This doesn't have to be a dramatic looking forward fold. Maybe it's more of a lean, keeping your spine long, noticing where you feel stretch. Maybe you fold forward deeper. Maybe you bring a block into the picture to rest your arms or head on. A few more breaths here, remembering that with every inhale we have an opportunity to expand. Every exhale, an opportunity to let go. Whichever leg is folded in front, maybe you mentally trace your awareness from that foot all the way up the leg, across the knee, up the thigh, to the hip and gluteal muscles on that side, noticing how they feel. Noticing that they're slowly expanding and stretching. Little muscle fibers gliding over each other. On an inhale, walk your hands back towards your legs, sit tall. You can use your hands or go hands free, bringing your legs together, finding a little balance, hovering your toes off of the ground. Breathing here. Maybe you lower your hands to your thighs for some support if you haven't already. Maybe you keep your arms lifted, start to float your legs more towards parallel to the earth. Belly button drawing back towards your navel and up towards your heart. Maybe you lengthen one or both of your legs. Navasana, boat pose. Another breath or two, exploring. And as you're ready, return to an easy seat, crossing the opposite leg in front. Moving a little faster on the second side. Inhale, reach out and up. Exhale, twist to your left. Lower your hands. About 3 slow, full breaths. Filling up with your inhale. Softening with your exhale. Inhale, come back through center, reaching. Exhale, twist to the other side. Lower your hands as you settle in for about 3 slow, full breaths. Notice if you're clenching or holding anywhere in the thighs that you might be able to release. Inhale, come back through center, reach out and up. Exhale, fold forward any amount. Let your hands come to the ground. Lengthen your spine as you lean forward. Maybe you melt down deeper. About 5 breaths here. Breathing deeply, sit up tall. If you're on a blanket, scoot off of it. Make your way down to your spine. So maybe you roll down. Keep your left foot or heel close to your hips. Hug your right knee in towards your chest. And then bring the right ankle to your left thigh. With your right hand, you can push the right thigh away from your chest now. Notice how your hips are meeting the mat. Try to level them out. Stay here or draw your legs in towards your torso. You can interlace your hands behind your left leg, perhaps. Some people like to clasp their fingers over their left shin. Maybe you prefer to send your left leg long to the sky, pointing and flexing your ankle. Wherever you go, about 3 more breaths. You can invite movement in, swaying your hips, or find stillness. Breathing deeply. As you come to an exhale, release both feet back to the earth. Right heel comes close to your right hip. Hug your left knee in first. There we go. And then bring your left ankle to your right thigh. You can stay like this or hug your legs in towards your chest. Maybe interlacing your fingers behind the right thigh or over the right shin. Maybe swaying, finding movement. Maybe settling in for stillness. A few more slow breaths here. Breathe deeply and release the posture on an exhale. Roll over onto one side, press yourself up through seated, swing your legs around. We're coming into child's pose, balasana. I like to do this with my knees as wide as the mat. And instead of worrying about bringing the forehead towards the mat, let's instead stay high on our fingertips and think about pulling the spine in opposite directions. So the hips, the low back moving back, the mid and upper back, shoulders moving forwards. On your fingertips, walking your hands forward. Maybe your head reaches the mat still, maybe not. Maybe you bring a block in so you can rest your head. About 3 more breaths here, pulling the spine gently in opposite directions. And just for a breath or two, relax your arms. You can bend your elbows, resting your head on your hands, or bring your arms back by your sides. Give your shoulders a break after that work. When you're ready, re-extend your arms. Inhale, come up through tabletop. Bring your knees right under your hips. Tuck your toes. On an exhale, send your hips high. Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Take any movement that your body likes here. When you're ready to settle in, check in with your foundation. So we're really connected to our fingertips, to the root of our index finger and thumb. Our arms are externally rotated, so the eyes of the elbows point more forward towards the thumb and index finger. Gently shrug the shoulders up to your ears and then let your neck relax, hanging heavy. Belly scoops in towards your spine. Maybe we bend our knees a little deeper, helping us send our hips really high. Inhale to look forward and exhale, make your way to the top of the mat. Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up with a long spine, reaching out and up. Maybe you send the hips forward, finding a little back bend at the top. Exhale your hands to your heart. Inhale, reach out and up. Core engaged. Exhale, fold forward all the way down. Hands touch down on mat or blocks. Step your right foot way back in space. Pause for a moment here. High runner's lunge, stretching the front of the right hip flexor. As you're ready, drop your right knee to the mat, maybe bringing a cushion under it. Untuck your right toes. Inhale, lift your arms, lift your torso. Exhale, maybe today we sink a little deeper than usual into our hips. After you explore that, squeeze your legs together. Notice how that draws you back up. So always thinking of squeezing the legs towards the midline. That helps us keep integrity in our hips. One more inhale like this, and exhale your hands down to the blocks. Bring your left hand inside your left foot while you walk the left foot out to the edge of the mat. Utthana Pristhasana, lizard pose. Keep lengthening your spine with every inhale. Keep imagining you're squeezing your legs together, and then begin to fold forward any amount. Maybe you lower to your forearms, maybe not. Some people like to clasp their hands together here. Left leg is hugging into the left arm. Imagine you're still squeezing your legs together. About 3 more breaths here. Know that you can always back out of it if it doesn't feel so good. Breathing. Step yourself up out of it, planting your hands. Bring your left hand to the outside of your left foot, walking that foot back in. Using blocks or not, tuck your right toes. Big inhale and exhale. Step right back to downward facing dog. About 3 breaths here. If you notice yourself slipping, if you're using blocks under your hands and you feel them slipping on the mat, play with squeezing your hands back towards your feet, creating a little more isometric muscle contraction. Or you can just ditch the blocks. On an inhale, send your right heel to the sky, three-legged dog. Look forward. Exhale, step or swing that right foot all the way to the top of the mat. Inhale, look forward, high runner's lunge. Press back through your left heel. Feel the nice stretch on your front hip flexor. As you're ready, drop your left knee, untuck your left toes. Inhale, reach up, lifting the torso, shoulders over hips. You can stay like this, or maybe you explore sinking a little deeper into your hips. After a breath or two like that, we'll remember our integrity and pull our legs towards each other, noticing how that pretty much brings us back lifted. Keep squeezing the legs towards each other, core engaged, fingertips plugged into the sky. On an exhale, bring your hands down to the earth. Right hand inside of right foot. Walk the right foot out to the edge of the mat. Right leg hugs the right arm. Lizard pose, long spine. Maybe you begin to hinge forward. Keep squeezing the legs towards each other as you explore. About 3 more breaths here. And inhaling, begin to lift your torso. Right hand to the outside of the right foot. Right foot walks in a bit. Tuck your left toes. Big inhalation. Exhale, giant step forward. Uttanasana, forward fold. You might bring your feet out wider than usual here. Maybe bend your knees more generously. Maybe clasp opposite elbows and maybe sway side to side. Notice what you feel. You can start by noticing the mat under your feet. And then trace the awareness all the way up your legs, all the way to the low back. And let the awareness spill down your spine to your shoulders, to your head and neck. Release your hands. Walk your feet back, hips distance apart. On an inhale, rise all the way up, arms out and up. Exhale your hands to your heart. Inhale, reach out and up. Exhale, hinge forward, hands touch down, left foot back in space, set up for warrior two. Heel to arch alignment. As you're ready, inhale, Virabhadrasana 2, gazing over your front fingertips. Clasp your hands behind your back. Let's do left thumb on top. Anchor your knuckles down. Inhale. Exhale, fold forward over your front leg, bringing the right shoulder towards the right knee, lifting the knuckles towards the sky. Looking back at that left foot, let's make sure our pinky side edge of the foot is anchored to the mat. Bowing or humble warrior. Breathe deeply. About 3 more breaths here. You can always release your hands to the earth if you want a little more support here. On an inhale, rise back up, Virabhadrasana 2. Exhale, hands to your hips, straighten your right leg, pivot on your right heel, bringing your feet to parallel. Anchor your tailbone down while you lift your crown. Inhale and exhale, hinge forward, wide leg forward fold. Release your hands to the earth and know that you can adjust your stance anytime. Maybe you want to explore walking your legs wider. Maybe you want to explore shortening this shape. About 3 more breaths. Hands to hips, core engaged. On an inhale, press into your feet to lift up with a long spine slowly. As you return to standing, pivot your left heel, left toes point towards the back, bend into your left knee, Virabhadrasana 2 on the other side. Gaze over your left fingertips. You can see your left big toe on the inside of your left knee. If you cannot, and then you make the adjustment, it's the gluteal muscles that are helping you with that rotation. Connected to the pinky side edge of your back foot. Clasp your hands behind your back, right thumb on top, knuckles anchor down. Inhale. Exhale, fold over your left leg, left shoulder towards left knee, knuckles lifting towards the sky. Relax your neck. Breathe here. After a breath or two, maybe you can better assess. Keep your connection to your feet. Pinky side edge of your right foot is grounded in. Think of the big toe mound or root of your left foot connected. Maybe for the next breath or two, you release your fingertips to the earth if you haven't already. Just an option, giving you a little more support. Breathing, we'll rise back up to warrior 2. Hands to hips, pivot on your left foot, back to our wide leg stance. Inhale for length. Exhale, hinge forward. Release your hands to the mat whenever you'd like. Maybe you walk your hands back behind you. Maybe you bring your hands out to your feet and ankles. You could even wedge your thumb under the arches of your feet, perhaps. Hands right under your face. On an inhale, press into the earth. Come up halfway. Long spine. Bring your hands to your hips. On an inhale, rise the rest of the way up. Heel toe your feet together. Coming into Malasana, garland, or yogi squat, you might want to bring a block or two into the picture. Maybe, maybe not. You have options to keep your feet parallel, or maybe to give ourselves a little more space, we point our toes out, heels pointing in. Inhale for lengthen the spine, and exhale, begin to squat down. When I was reading this morning, it said, this is the king of hip openers. So be kind to yourself if it doesn't quite go the way you think it should. So maybe you're on a perch of a couple of blocks. Maybe after a breath or two, you explore releasing one or both of those blocks. Try to lengthen your spine as you settle in for a few more breaths. You can use your arms to push your thighs wide. Maybe closing your eyes and picturing your tailbone, your spine, anchoring deep into the earth while your crown floats up to the sky. One more breath like this. And as you're ready, release your hands to the earth. Stand up into a forward fold. Bring the block opposite of the way it was, so skinny under you. Does that make sense? All right, we're going to drop right down to our knees, and then it'll make more sense. So we want the block to be able to come between our thighs and right under our seat. Just say Virasana, Carly. Hero's pose. You can hug the block with your shins, or you can bring your shins out a little wider, keeping your thighs hips distance apart. And as you start to settle in, maybe you can lean back in space slightly, shoulders over hips. Maybe one block isn't enough. Maybe one block is too much. You might explore this without any block. You know, when I was a kid, I sat like this, no big deal. May or may not have been a good idea after all, though, right? Another breath or two. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, twist to your right. Lower your arms down. Maybe you look over your right shoulder. Notice your left hip and your right hip. Inhale, reaching up through center. Exhale, twist over to your left and lower your hands down. Breathing here. Notice your right hip and your left. Breathe deeply, come back through center, reach up. Exhale your hands down to your thighs, sitting tall in Virasana. Another breath or two here. And when you're ready, we'll take the block out from under our hips. Plant your feet, swinging your legs around. Recline all the way down onto your back. We'll close with one more reclined pigeon. So cross your right ankle over your left thigh and hug your legs in towards your chest. Maybe you sway a little side to side. Open your arms out wide, big inhale. When you exhale, send your legs off to the left, taking a spinal twist. See what you can let go of here. Remembering that it's a practice. It takes practice. Breathing, return back to neutral. Both feet on the earth, and then cross your left ankle over your right thigh. Hug your legs in towards your chest. Maybe you move a little side to side. Open your arms out wide. Inhale deeply, and with an exhale, send your legs off to the other side. Another full cycle of breath like this. As you're ready, return to neutral, hugging your legs. You can rock side to side. Take any other movement that your body is calling for. And when you're ready, send your legs long, arms out wide, palms to the sky. Breathe here and practice surrendering. Resting in Shavasana, let your body be heavy. Inhaling, I am here now. Exhaling, it is well. Breathe deeply. Savoring this final moment of your practice, you can move slowly to return to Sukhasana, easy seated posture. As you return to easy seat, sitting tall, hands come together in front of your heart space. You might express gratitude to yourself for taking the time and making the time for this practice. One long Om to close. Thank you for sharing your practice today. I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow.